Hi everyone, this is Aaron from HH Watch Reviews. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will take a look at the Watchdives WD7922. This is a homage to the very popular Black Bay 54. Now we all know the Black Bay 54 is only available in one colorway at the moment, which is a black dial with gilt accents and silver markings on the bezel insert. But Watchdives has made this watch available in 4 different colorways. So you have the original Black Bay 54 look. You also have the full blue or the full gilt look of the Black Bay 58 and also the burgundy look of the Black Bay 41. Now I've owned a gilt and blue Black Bay 58 and I also had the burgundy SN0128 from San Martin. So I decided to go for the original Black Bay 54 look and get this one. Now I purchased this watch from watchdives.com and I was offered an extra discount for it. But as usual, that won't affect my review of the watch and they'll see this review at the same time as everyone else. If by the end of this video you're interested in purchasing this watch, I will leave an affiliate link in the description down below. Note that if you purchase the watch or any other watch using my affiliate links, it doesn't add any extra cost to you, but it does give me a small commission. Now this helps me fund more watches so I can get them for review and make more watch content for this channel. For today's wrist check, I am wearing my Seiko SBB411, the Navigator Timer reissue. I've paired it here with the new CTS straps from Watchdives. I really like this strap, it fits it very well. I really like the option of 19mm being available, and the fact that it tapers down to 16mm, I think it fits this watch very nicely. I might have to actually order a few more of these, maybe a red one to match the GMT hand on this watch. Anyways. Before we move on, I'd like to take a moment and ask if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now I know this is a huge ask, but it makes a huge difference for how my videos perform, so I'd really appreciate it if you could just click those 2 little buttons there. Let's look at the dimensions and specifications of this watch. The case measures 37mm and the bezel is 38mm. It has a lug-to-lug distance of 45.5mm. The thickness, including the slightly domed sapphire crystal, is 11.5mm. The lug width is 20mm and the crown measures 6.3mm. The watch runs on the VH31 Mecha Quartz movement from Seiko. It has that smooth sweeping second hand that ticks 4 times every second. So instead of having a second hand that ticks every second, this one sweeps around like a mechanical one. The sign crown screws in and allows this watch to have 200 meters of water resistance. The case and bracelet is made out of 316L steel, and the lume on this watch is C3 green lume. Let's take a look at the case. Some of you may already know that I never liked the polished sides of the Black Bay 58 case. I got scratches on that surface within the first few days or weeks of owning the watch. So naturally, that was the first thing I wanted to check out on this watch. I recently reviewed the Militato ML06, which is another Black Bay homage, and I mentioned in my review how much I like the brushed finish of the side of the case. Well, I'm happy to report that this watch does not have a polished side. There's actually very little polishing on this case. So looking at the top of the lugs, you can see that it is brushed, as well as the side of the case. The brushing is done very well. I didn't notice any inconsistencies in the finishing. There's a nice polished chamfer at the edge of the lugs that covers the entire length of the case. That transition between the finishing is crisp and well defined. And honestly, I'm not surprised. I've been very impressed with the quality of finishing that Watchdives is able to offer at this price range, with the only exception being that titanium Seamaster homage that I recently reviewed. That one had really bad finishing. Now flipping the watch over, we have a plain case back. The entire case back has a brushed finish. It's simple but done very well. The bottom edge of the case doesn't have any chamfer, but it is very smooth to the touch, so that's very good. This watch has a sign crown that measures 6.3mm. It is a bit on the smaller side, but I think it is proportional to the case. At least it's easy to grip and unscrew, and screwing it back in is also very smooth. So overall, I would say that this case cannot get any better, especially at this price point. This watch has a coin edge bezel just like the original Tudor. The only difference being that this one has a little bit of a lift over the case, so it sits a bit higher above the case. Here's a side by side with the Black Bay 54. You can see that the coin edge on the Black Bay 54 sits flush on top of the case. Personally, I prefer the way Watchdives did it. I always found that the bezel on the Tudor was a bit difficult to grip because it sat so close to the case and the coin edge is very slim. Now, if you notice under the coin edge bezel, there is a polished surface. This adds to the overall design and I think it looks very nice. It also matches that polished chamfer that goes all the way through the case. Now, speaking of looks, the bezel insert is made out of aluminum and it has silver markings. When the Black Bay 54 was first released, there was a lot of conversations going on about the fact that the bezel insert doesn't match the gilt elements on the dial. Some people liked it, some people hated it. I wasn't sure what to think of it, and since I've never seen or had a Black Bay 54, I decided to go with this one. Now that I've had this watch for a few weeks, I can see that I don't mind the silver markings. It kind of tones down the gilt on this watch, and since the markings are silver and not white, it actually matches the color of the steel, so it looks very nice. Now, how is the bezel action? Well, let's have a listen. As you can see, the clicks are loud and clear. The bezel is solid. The grip on this coin edge is perfect. It's easy to rotate, but it's also not too loose. Just the right amount of pressure is needed to rotate the bezel. Everything lines up as it should. So for me, this bezel gets a thumbs up. This watch has a matte black dial with gilt printing for the minute track, the logo, and the water resistance text. The printing is crisp, and I like that the tone of gold color used here is not too bright. It blends in very well with the matte dial. The hands and markers are also in gold tone, and they are filled with C3 green lume. For those interested in the blue variant of this watch, note that the lume on that one is BGW9 blue lume. The performance of the lume of my watch is very good. It's bright and long lasting, and even the lume pip on the bezel shines bright. Now, there isn't much else to say about this dial. The hands are obviously the snowflake hands from any other Tudor Black Bay watch. We know the design is not original, so no points there. But I do want to mention that the dial, the hands, everything's well finished. The hands are very well proportioned for the dial, and the performance of the lume is great. This bracelet starts at 20 millimeters and tapers down to 16 millimeters. The clasp measures 18 millimeters. The top of the links have a brushed finish that match the case finishing, but the sides on the other hand doesn't match the case sides. It is finished in high polish, which is a bummer. I would have liked to see that same brushed finish continue from the case sides to the bracelet, especially since the sides of the clasp also have a brushed finish. I know it's a minor thing, but I think it would have looked better. But otherwise, the bracelet is very solid, the end links fit the case very well, the fitment is perfect. The links though are held with push pins, which as a Seiko fan, I don't really mind. I'm used to sizing bracelet with push pins and they've never failed on me. Now looking at the clasp, you can see that it's fully milled. The top and sides of the clasp have a brushed finish, and there's a nice thick polished bevel on each side of the clasp. The Watchdives logo is etched on top and looks very nice, but I have to say I'm very excited to see their new logo on future watch releases. So we have a double push button to open the clasp. No issues with that, it locks very securely. The clasp offers 4 micro adjustment holes. It would have been nice to have on-the-fly micro adjustments, but I'm not going to complain at this price point. Also, it keeps the clasp small and thin, which I really like. For around $100 USD, this watch gives you a lot. The fit and finish is amazing, the bezel action is one of the best out there, the size and proportions of this watch is perfect. Obviously, the design is an original and you have to like the Black Bay look, but if you are in the market for a small diverse watch with a vintage design, then this watch is a very good option. And for those who aren't sure about the quartz movement, trust me, the VH31 movement is great. My watch has only gained 1 second in almost 2 weeks now. So that wraps up my review of the Watchdives WD7922. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of this watch. Also, let me know if you're addicted to the VH31 movement like me. I feel like I want to buy all the watches that are available with this little movement. Anyways, as usual, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it with a friend or two. And if you want to see more watch content, please subscribe to the channel and click on that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next one.